Witam was bardzo serdecznie. Ja jestem Arietta, a przed wami Dziedzictwo Hogwartu. Jak pamiętacie, ostatnio sobie zrobiliśmy wątek główny i weszliśmy do jaskini, do kopalni w sumie. I odkryliśmy, że coś tam kombinują z jakąś maszyną. Jak pamiętacie, też odblokował nam się kolejna próba, ale tym się zajmiemy za chwilę albo trochę później. Na razie chodźmy sobie ulepszyć naszą różdżkę, bo mamy taką możliwość. Okej. I mamy dla ciebie wiadomości.
Good news, Mr. Weeks. With your upgrade, I was able to set a new record at the Irondale course.
Brilliant! I knew the upgrade had fantastic potential. How did your broom feel?
It rides well. Does get a tad shaky at top speed, and the handle wobbles a bit when I hit a strong gust of wind.
Ah, yes. I see. I think I know how to address that. Thank you. I owe you one.
If it means another upgrade, the pleasure's all mine.
You sound as determined as I am to improve broom flight. It's a joy to have a collaborator like yourself. If I'm right, and I do hope I am, you'll be hearing good news from me soon.
No dobra.
Thank you again, truly.
Okej, tutaj już mamy informacje przekazane, te, które chcieliśmy. Musimy chwilę poczekać, aż nam
Mr.
się...
Weeks and I do make a good team.
aż nam się odezwie. Za ten czas tutaj mamy... ale zobaczymy sobie to. Co to jest? I tutaj mamy zadanie. To najpierw sobie weźmy to.
I have thrilling news. I believe my next broom upgrade to be even more impressive than the last. Come by Spintwitches as soon as you can.
Właśnie o wilku mowa. Mówiliśmy o tym, że musimy chwilę poczekać. Nawet długo nie musieliśmy.
Wonderful to see you. As before, I've arranged a special
Okay.
price on the broom upgrade for you.
Pewnie od razu
You'll be
ulepszymy ją
thrilled with
sobie.
that broom, I promise you. You're all set with the new upgrade. I can't wait to hear what you think. This may sound presumptuous, but
You'd like me to report back with even more flight details?
you know me well. I feel I'm almost there. I just think I can improve broom flight a bit more. Miss Ray's is running a time trial at the South Coast course. Not ideal, really, what with rumours of Ranrock's lot and Ashwinders infiltrating the place. However, if you're flying high above them, you should be all right, I think.
Nie boję się.
I'm not worried, Mr. Weeks. I'll see if I can find Imelda.
I hope you are able to complete these trials. I have a feeling this final upgrade is going to be a sweeping success. Do be careful, of course. I shall look forward to hearing from you soon.
No dobra, ale
I
jeszcze
look forward to our
zobaczmy
next meeting.
to. Kilka rzeczy mogliśmy ostatnio zebrać. Spróbujmy. Zobaczymy, co nam przyniesie kolejne misje. Wyjątkowy 33. To sobie zatrzymajmy.
Thanks for stopping by. Hope to see you again.
Dobra. I teraz, tak jak
Perhaps I could
mówiłam,
test out my new upgrade on the way.
gdzie nas tutaj prowadzi? Gdzie jest ta misja? Bym chciała to. I mapa? No, tu jest. O to mi chodziło. No. Dobra. To co? Lecimy tam. Porozmawiajmy, o co chodzi z tymi w ogóle kamieniami księżycowymi.
Pardon me, sir, but about those curious demiguise statues I've seen.
What? Who are you? Why do you ask?
Zaintrygowały mnie.
They're quite clever.
Oh, thank you. A lot of craftsmanship and care went into them. I assume.
So you did create them.
Yes, I did. It was a ploy to give that pathetic oaf Moon a taste of the grief he caused me years ago. You are the one who's been pilfering them.
I am, at the request of Mr. Moon. I received your owl on your stationery.
Ah, well, fitting Moon would enlist a student. Too cowardly to do it himself. Hasn't changed a bit. Even when we were at school, he was a cowardly bully. Gave me a horrible nickname, which I shan't repeat. I was thrilled when we left school and he seemed gone for good. Then I started seeing him around Hogsmeade. It was too much. Even if I do take satisfaction in that his life's destiny was to be a lowly caretaker.
Okej. No powiedzmy, że tak jest.
Mr. Moon does a good deal for the school, and he's taught me a lot. He's terrified of those statues.
I know. You should have seen his face when that boggart appeared. Oh, priceless. That's when I knew what I needed to do. I simply didn't want to encounter him anymore. So, I shrewdly put a boggart in his path to learn his greatest fear. I then created the demiguise statues to keep him in his place, so to speak. The moons were an inspired play on his name. It worked brilliantly. Until you started clearing them out.
Nie jest pan lepszy od pana Moona.
The statues are a form of bullying. You'll know better than him. Perhaps it's time you both moved on.
Fair point, I suppose. If they've terrified him, as you say, he may have learned his lesson.
Dobra. I zagadka rozwiązana. Pamiętajcie, nie znęcajcie się, bo później na was będą się znęcać. Okej. I weźmy sobie od razu to zadanie, skoro jesteśmy już tutaj w okolicy. To poróbmy wszystko, co tu możemy. Widziałam, że parę nam się questów takich pojawiło. Dość ciekawych, relaksujących.
Don't you fret, Biscuit. I shall sort something out.
Co się stało?
Hello, is something the matter?
Most decidedly, yes. My precious moon calf, Biscuit, was abducted by poachers up north. Oh, the vicious brutes. I tried to fight back, but I was no match for them.
I'm sorry about your moon calf, Mr.
Garnuff. Just Garnuff. I'm only one goblin. Not a particularly brave one at that. I have no chance against a pack of bloodthirsty poachers. Oh, my poor Biscuit. I can only hope she's able to escape.
A dlaczego chcieli ją w ogóle mieć?
Why do you suppose the poachers took Biscuit?
I have no idea. Mooncalf dung's highly valuable for fertilizing magical plants. But I cannot imagine poachers care much about gardening. Who knows what they'll do to her? She could be flogged, skinned, gutted and stuffed. I assume. Oh, Biscuit.
Okej. A to?
A moon calf is an unusual pet. Why did you choose Biscuit?
She followed me one evening, wouldn't leave my side. Never thought I was one for a pet of any kind. But now I can't imagine life without her. Mooncalves are often thought of as silly, simple-minded creatures. But I've seen great depth of character in Biscuit. I wouldn't trade her for a hippogriff or a hippopotamus, or even a goose that lays golden eggs.
Okej.
I'll keep an eye out.
How kind. If only all of Wizardkind was as gracious to goblins. If you do see her and can bring her safely home to me, I promise to reward you for your efforts.
No dobra.
Do keep an eye out for her, and be careful out there. Poachers are an unscrupulous lot.
I should try.
Dobra, spokojnie. I gdzie my to mamy? Mapa świata. Tutaj. Dobra. To sobie od razu to zrobimy. Polećmy sobie tu, żeby było bliżej. Nie ma tak jak pomóc goblinowi.
You can't imagine how inconvenient travel was before I invented flu powder.
Myślę, że było tragicznie. Okej. Tam mamy. Op. Dobra.
Revelio.
Co my tam mamy?
Poachers. Garniff was right then. I'd better be careful.
Okej. Weźmy sobie tak. Tam tutaj mamy. Mamy kilka osób. A zrobimy sobie tak.
You want to talk of romance? Last time I saw you with a rose was when you stuck your finger on one trying to hide a sack of galleons.
Okej, jeden padł. A ty jak idziesz? Weźcie się, ustawcie jakieś tak ładnie. Tak, żeby mogła 2 osoby ściągnąć. Okej. Mamy następną. Oj, nie możemy już. Widzę, że tam się zaciął jeden. To od razu go sobie ściągniemy. Okej. To sobie pójdziemy tędyk. Tamci się ruszyli niepotrzebnie. Weźcie idźcie w jakimś konkretnym miejscu, w jednym. Serio? Chciałam zrobić to wyzwanie pojedynku, ale widać się uparli, że jednak nie. Dobra. Pozbądźmy się ciebie. Zbierzmy.
We should speak with Mr. Bickle's friends. I believe I can sneak away with Meet me near Hogsmeade, and we will devise a plan.
O,
Know how and where to approach the centaurs about protecting the Snidgets. Meet me in the Forbidden Forest.
dobra, spokojnie. Bawimy się w ratowanie.
The bees around here can sleep a bit easier.
Okej. O. Hop. Zbierzmy. Możemy już się odblokować. Okej. Witam was ponownie po tym małym cięciu, ale niestety prawdopodobnie quest mi się zbagował, ponieważ nie mogę w jakikolwiek sposób otworzyć tej klatki. Mam nadzieję, że z czasem, wiecie, jak to wszystko się odblokuje, może się jeszcze uda to zrobić. No a teraz zajmijmy się spotkaniem z Poppy. Dość daleko mamy spotkanie, bo aż tutaj. Więc chodźmy tu. Zobaczmy, co tam Poppy nam powie. Przekazany las zawsze taki porażający trochę. Op, na górę? Okej. Tutaj mamy. Cześć, Poppy. Czego się dowiedziałaś?
I can do this. I can do this. They will want to help.
O co chodzi?
Is this where we're meeting the centaurs?
Well, they don't exactly know we're coming, so it's less of a meeting and more of a surprise, I suppose.
Aha. Chyba
Once we tell
zrozumieją.
them about the Snidgets, they'll understand why we came and they'll want to help.
I hope you're right. Perhaps they'll be able to tell that we're sincere. There's something about them that's so knowing. It's almost unnerving.
Są znane ze swojej mądrości. Przynajmniej mam taką nadzieję.
I suppose they are known for having an air of omniscience.
That's exactly the right word. I just... Never mind.
What is it?
It's nothing, truly. We've no secrets to hide.
Speaking of secrets, I do want to tell you why Victor Rookwood's after me. He's working with Ranrock, and Ranrock's after something I found at Gringotts. Fig had a portkey that led us there after the dragon attack. It's a bit of a long story, and Fig asked that I not speak of it yet.
Goodness. Well, that certainly helps explain a bit about what we saw back at Horntail Hall. Of course, I'll guard your secret as if it were my own. Even the centaurs won't know.
We'll simply be honest with them about what we're trying to do. They'll have to help us, won't they?
Yes, of course. You're absolutely right. We'll meet with them, tell them about the Snidgets, and I'm sure it'll all be fun.
O. Cześć!
What do you think you're doing here, humans?
Please! We were hoping to speak with you.
Ah! I suppose you'd like a tale for your friends of the time you spoke to a centaur, and it spoke back.
No, never. We're here because we need your help.
Enough! You made a grave error in judgment in coming here, little witch.
Leave them be, Alec. We do not harm the young. It is not our way.
You forget your place, old fool. I'm the leader of this herd, and while you cling to our way, their kind continue to slaughter beasts like us without a care.
From what I can see, they have slaughtered no one. They will leave here unharmed.
Mark my words, Doran. If I ever see them again, it will be all 3 of your heads.
Chyba nie są zadowoleni z naszej wizyty.
Foolish children. Do you know what happens to wizards who wander here? Now, follow me before
Golden Snidgets are still alive, and the poachers are after them. They know that the key to finding them lies in the moonlight, but they don't know what that means, yet. Please, help us find the Snidgets before the poachers do.
Could it be? In the south, there is a cave within which lies what the poachers seek. A moonstone. Retrieve it and place it in the henge in the forest. I, on the other hand, must go speak with the herd. Find me after you have done this.
No dobra. Przynajmniej jednego przekonaliśmy.
I don't understand. So the moonlight mentioned in the journal doesn't refer to actual moonlight, but to a moonstone. What do moonstones have to do with Snidgets? And why was he so certain about where we could find one?
Okej.
Isn't Moonstone all around us? Why retrieve one from a cave?
Knowing centaurs, I suspect he's referring to a specific moonstone. We'll likely know it when we see it.
Też tak myślę. A weźmy to.
I don't know, but I am inclined to believe him. What with his being a centaur and all.
I am too. It is a shame how quickly he left. What was his name? Doran.
That's what the leader of the herd called him.
Well, if Doran knows something we don't, I'd rather act now and ask questions later. I can head to the library and start looking into the cave you mentioned.
Okej.
I'll let you know what I find.
To od razu nie idziemy? Łe. Taka szkoda trochę. O. Dobra, co tu jeszcze mamy? Misję. Okej. Porwanie ciastka to jest to. Sporo tego mamy. Okej. To weźmy sobie też to teraz. Zobaczymy, gdzie my to mamy. Zapewne daleko. W Hogwarcie gdzieś. Pod Hogwartem. Okej. Tu? Idź, nie tu. Możemy tutaj? To tutaj możemy. Dobrze było. I tutaj poproszę. Dzisiaj będziemy ze wszystkimi gadać i zaczynać wątki. Ale niestety będziemy musieli sporo poczekać,
Any more cozy than Hogsmeade?
a się znowu odezwą, żeby dalej pociągnąć wątek. No niestety. Okej. Nati, co masz dla mnie? Nati, tu jesteś. Okej, cześć. Poczekajmy na nią.
Are you ready to put an end to Harlow?
O, zaintrygowałaś mnie.
I'm ready to do what's needed to take Harlow down. I know you have a plan.
We must gather information from the friends of Mr. Bickle that Archie and Mrs. Bickle mentioned. Agabus Filbert, Otto Dibble, and Mr. and Mrs. Rabe.
All right.
I suggest that you speak with each of them while I head to the Hogshead. I saw some Ashwinders heading there. And as my mother would never go near the Hogshead, she is less likely to learn of my activities than if I were to wander the village questioning its residents.
No dobra, gdzie ich znajdę?
Where am I to find these friends of his?
I do not know about Mr. Rabe, but his wife, Daisy, is often in Hogsmeade, as is Agabus Filbert. And Otto Dibble, he works at Gladrags, so you will likely find him there.
Dobra, a to?
What sort of information am I trying to gather from these people?
They may know what evidence Mr. Bickle had against Harlow, or they may have evidence of their own. We simply need to know whatever they know.
No dobra, to porozmawiajmy z
Very
nim.
well. I'll speak with them. See what I can learn.
I knew I could rely on you. We need to know how they are being blackmailed by Rookwood and Harlow. Meet me here after you have spoken with them.
No dobra.
Hopefully, by the time you return, I will be able to move a bit more freely.
Okej. Kilka mamy znaczników. Jedziemy gadać o wszystkimi. Kogo mamy najbliżej? Tutaj i tam mamy za 50. O, tu mamy. Tam na górze.
Mrs. Rabe should be nearby.
Tu, tutaj cię widzę.
Oh, Isco, what have I done?
Witam.
Mrs. Rabe, I wondered if I might speak with you about Theophilus Harlow. I'm a friend of the Bickles and I'm trying to gather evidence against him.
Poor Joanna and little Archie. And now Harlow has taken my darling Isco.
What do you mean? Why?
I'm a security guard at Gringotts, and my husband is a curse breaker for them. Harlow approached me about helping him extort my colleagues into giving him treasures from the vaults.
And you declined?
Of course I declined. Repeatedly. I thought they'd given up, until I came home one night and found my husband gone, and a note affixed to my door with a knife. The note stated that I only had a few days to reconsider helping with some banking needs, and that my husband would appreciate it if I acted quickly. But the help Harlow wants is help that I cannot give, and my dearest Isco is paying the price.
Okej.
Are you sure the note means that your husband was kidnapped?
What else could it possibly mean? Besides, I came home to find that someone had trampled the daisies in our garden. It may sound silly, but those were Isco's pride and joy. He would never have let that happen.
Dobra, a to?
Have you helped Harlow since your husband was taken?
No, I'm worried sick about Isco, but he'd never want me to compromise my integrity. I also know that he's extremely clever. That said, I was hoping he would have escaped by now. It makes me concerned as to why he hasn't.
Why wouldn't Harlow extort your husband?
Isco's job is even more removed from the vaults than mine. He travels the world for the bank. He could do nothing for Harlow. I'm the one in the bank on a daily basis, which evidently makes me an enticing target for blackmail.
Okej.
Thank you, Mrs. Rabe. Knowing the lengths that Harlow will go to is helpful, albeit more than disturbing.
Mr. Bickle was trying to help us, but now he's gone. I don't know what to do.
I shall do all I can to get evidence against Harlow, Mrs.
Very well. Here's the note I received. You must be careful as well. Please don't put yourself in danger.
Okej. Dobra.
Some evidence worth hanging on to.
Thank you. I hope it's not too late.
Ja
Now
też
to
mam
find
taką,
Mr. Bickle's other two friends.
też mam taką nadzieję, że nie jest. Dobra, lecimy dalej. Porozmawiać. Tutaj.
Otto Dibble works at Gladrags. I should check there.
Yeah, but please tell me you didn't take it. But perhaps it's been here all along.
Okej.
Mr. Dibble, may I speak with you? It's about Theophilus Harlow.
I've nothing to say about him. May I interest you in a stunning cravat today?
Please, sir, I would like to help. I spoke to Mrs. Bickle.
You know the Bickles? All right. But we must be discreet. Can't have Mr. Hill hearing this.
I know Mr. Hill. He was kind to me the day of the troll attack.
Oh, he's a good man. But even he wouldn't understand about Harlow. It started a few weeks ago. I was distracted, reading a note, when you-know-who came into the shop. I hid the note behind the counter and offered to help him. He stared at me for a moment, then asked me to check on an order he'd placed. I went into the storeroom to check on what turned out to be a non-existent order. When I returned, he was holding the note.
What was in the note?
It was a note from Rosie Hill, Mr. Hill's daughter. You see, we've been, secretly engaged these past 6 months. We haven't told Mr. Hill yet. I dare say he has higher hopes for her. Harlow advised me in no uncertain terms that my relationship with Rosie, not to mention my employment here, depended upon my cooperation.
What did he ask you to do?
It all happened so quickly. In an instant, he took a very expensive scarf from the counter, pocketed it, and smiled. He said, "Your secret is safe as long as I can supply my lady friend with delightful items like this every so often." I've been able to cover for his requests until now with some creative bookkeeping, but I can't keep it out for much longer. I'm terrified to say anything. I could never live without Rosie.
Okej.
Could you give me a bit more detail about the note that might help me to identify it should I come across it?
It's on Rosie's special pink stationery. It has her monogram at the top, RH. That's how Mr. Hill would know it was real.
Okej, a to?
What have you been doing to keep the extortion a secret?
Well, as I mentioned, creative bookkeeping. And I've also been trying to cover the costs with my own savings, but I'm running out of money. Of course, none of this bodes well for my efforts to improve my circumstances and to be worthy of Rosie.
A to?
I met Mr. Hill the day of the troll attack. He was kind to me. Why don't you just tell him?
He's a lovely man. But when it comes to Rosie, I fear he loses all perspective. He'd see this as a grave betrayal. I'd lose my job instantly, and Rosie as well.
Okej.
Thank you for telling me. I'm gathering evidence to take Harlow down.
I would love nothing more than to see him rotting in Azkaban, but be careful. He's an awful man and incredibly dangerous. As for Rosie's letter, should you happen upon it, I have committed it to memory. You may destroy it immediately.
Understood.
No dobra.
Now hurry off before Mr. Hill returns.
Dobrze, spokojnie.
We're on the right track. Now to find the last of Mr. Bickle's friends.
Dobra, została nam ostatnia rozmowa. Tutaj. Gdzieś tam na obrzeżach.
Agabus Filbert must be around here somewhere.
Witam.
Excuse me, Mr. Filbert. I wondered if I might speak with you about your dealings with Theophilus Harlow. I hope to ease Mrs. Bickle's mind by gathering evidence against him.
Tragic what happened to Bickle. He wanted me to speak out against Harlow for an act of violence committed against me. But I feared Harlow's retaliation, and so I refused.
You may have shared Mr. Bickle's fate if you had spoken out against Harlow, as he requested.
Unfortunately, I suspect you're right.
You said that Harlow committed an act of violence against you. Could you tell me what happened?
Before my extraordinary wife, Dulcibella, passed away, she had just completed a small book of poetry. As a surprise for her birthday, one she never had the chance to celebrate, I had the book beautifully bound and plated in gold. One day, Harlow came calling to punish me for having spoken out against the Neanderthals that comprise Rookwood's lot. Before I knew it, I'd been petrified, and Harlow was rifling through my home. He found the book of poetry, with its exquisite gold plating. I watched helplessly, lying there in my entranceway as he walked away with the book, laughing as he went. I was shaken to my core. Still am, to be honest.
I imagine you fear Harlow retaliating again. But do you mind if I share this information with Officer Singer?
I suppose I have no choice. This extortion can't go on forever. You can pass it on to anyone who may be willing to help.
No dobra.
Harlow does not like people talking, as you already know.
I've spoken with Mr. Bickle's friends. Now to find Nati.
Okej, to teraz idziemy do Nati. Zobaczymy, jak się dalej sytuacja rozwiąże. Widzę, że Harlow sobie nieźle tutaj się bawi. Tutaj coś podkradnie, tam coś weźmie, tego zaszantażuje. A czemu by nie?
It's not like Nati to be late. She said she was going to the Hog's Head. Perhaps I'll find her there.
Okej, dobra. Poszliśmy tylko tam, żeby się wrócić. No dobra, może wpadła w jakieś tarapaty? Lepiej nie. Chociaż po Nati można się spodziewać wszystkiego. Będziemy musieli ją ratować zapewne.
Nati must be around here somewhere.
Okej, świński łeb. Tu. Aha.
Nati's wand. She can cast without it. She wanted me to find this. She's in trouble. Velio will show me where she was taken.
Dobra, ale myślę, że w tym miejscu sobie zakończymy. Mam nadzieję, że wam się podobało, że zostawicie łapkę w górę i że zasubskrybujecie kanał. No to co? Trzymajcie się ciepło. Do usłyszenia. Cześć!